Hey, welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. We are here on a Friday, and it is Football Friday, Linda. I didn't know if you knew that.
Well, actually, probably I didn't. I knew it was Friday. I did not know they were having a game this evening.
Yeah, they're playing at Carlsbad tonight. So if you're going to go to the game tonight, folks, the band is going to be performing before kickoff. Mm-hmm. Not at halftime. Only the Carlsbad band will be at halftime. Right. If there are no limits on attendance other than the posted capacity of the facility. So they're not saying we're limiting it to this many fans.
So if you want to go, you better get there early.
Right.
So you can get a seat.
You can get a seat. That's right. So we're going to cover it on radio and TV. Mm-hmm. But again, it's not going to be a fancy multi-camera production like we usually do, which we will have for the Hobbs game the following week here at Bulldog Bowl. We'll have our sideline cameras, and we'll have our sideline reporter, and we'll have all of that stuff figured out. But at Carlsbad tonight, it's Joby and Robbie and me.
Well, there's only so many things, so many people to go around. You do what you can. You do the best you can.
That's right. That'll be our crew tonight, Maybe we'll have a sideline reporter. We'll try that. I've got a microphone. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet, so that's, when I get...
Yeah, well, maybe you should try it and make sure it works.
No, we're going to do that. The thing that has been frustrating, we're just like everybody else. We're short of staff.
Sure.
We've had some staff isolating at home because of COVID. So we're just, doing the best we can to get everything done.
This new variant is pretty wicked in the sense that it is so contagious.
Yep.
And I think people around here got very lax, and our state is not one of the ones that's the most vaccinated, especially in this section of the state
as a whole is very good.
Yeah.
As far as vaccinations are concerned. Let me bring that up here, and we'll take a look, because I haven't looked at it.
Well, shall I say I was reading it in the paper yesterday.
Well,
but this section of the state is not too good.
This corner of the state is not too good. You are absolutely correct. And
so,
as of today, let me refresh this if I may. And as of today, Linda, as of the 19th, which is yesterday's update, 75% of New Mexicans 18 years and older have had at least one shot.
Right.
75%. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
66% have gone through the two-shot series and are now considered fully vaccinated. So that's pretty high. But when you drill down and you go down to our corner of the state, that's where you see the big differences. Eddy County, according to the state of New Mexico, is at 51.1% partially vaccinated and only 42.6% fully vaccinated.
Well, when you give it and you go to the hospital and you're begging, they're not going to give you a shot because you're already sick.
Right.
So you're going to just have to tough it out. If you survive, then you can get a vaccination.
Right.
But just because you had it and you think you're going to have all the antibodies that you need is not necessarily true. Or, well, it's true, but it may not be good enough. You still need a vaccination. And the thing is, yes, you can be a spreader. Who do you want to contaminate? You don't know who you're giving it to. Just because you decided not to get a shot doesn't mean that you're not a carrier and contaminating your grandmother, your neighbor's little child, somebody, and then what happens if they get it and die? And if you knew that it came from you and you were the cause, how would you feel?
Yeah.
Because it could have been prevented. When you read articles right now about all the healthcare workers that are, I read one the other day that there was a doctor that said, I don't feel sorry for them anymore because this can be prevented. Of course,
Right.
that you have to become hardened because you see all of this horrible sickness and struggling to breathe and on ventilators and then death. And if you took every bit of that home with you every day, it would make you absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And a lot of them quit, from last time they quit because they couldn't take it anymore, the body bags because they were no place to put sick people, and their duty and loyalty and what their mission is to treat the sick. That's why they became doctors and nurses.
Sure. Now, conversely, there are people that are not going to get
Oh,
vaccinated.
no, they're not, because there are people out there that for some
Well, let me
magic
tell you-
reason think there's a tracker
Well,
in it.
well, that's some of it.
Yeah.
But that's not all of it.
No,
And there are people in the healthcare profession
that aren't.
that are going to quit and are going to leave New Mexico because of the governor's mandate that they have to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
There are people in that industry, because that was the governor's mandate this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
You have X number of days or X number of hours to get your shot, or you can't work in the healthcare industry.
So it won't make any difference if they can't work because they're not getting vaccinated, or they leave because they made them vaccinate. Either way, you are losing an important person.
Yes. So do you want that to be your stand if you're the governor of the
Yeah.
United States of New Mexico? Do you want to be the one that says, in an already strained and stressed and shortage healthcare system,
Yeah.
do you want to run the risk that 4, 5, 8, 10% of your workforce is going to leave
Yeah.
with a mandate? Is that the position you want to put your healthcare system in? And apparently our governor has said that's the position she wants to put the healthcare system in. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't care if it's in Albuquerque or Farmington or Artesia, there's a
Right.
certain percentage of people who have not gotten vaccinated that work in the healthcare system for whatever reason, do not want to get vaccinated.
That's right.
Who are ready to leave because of the vaccine mandate. So
And we can't afford that.
We can't. We can't
No, because
afford
we're
that.
already shorthanded.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is.
Yeah,
There's not enough of anything to go around anymore, especially healthcare workers.
right.
And there were numerous ones that died the first round of this
Mm-hmm.
that caught it because they were treating people.
Right.
So you've already lost a bunch. It takes years of education to get in there for doctor and nurses and everything. You just don't flip one in there at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
And you're mandating that you don't get the shot, you're out of here? I do not agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I do not agree with that.
That's what the governor said.
Well,
this
I don't
week.
agree with a lot of things she says, but,
Yeah. I mean, everything you said as an argument for getting the vaccine makes total sense. And if that persuades people to get the vaccine, that's fine. But that argument may or may not work with some people. Mm-hmm. Offering them $100 to get vaccinated is not going to work with some people.
No.
Some people are just not going to get vaccinated. They question the effectiveness of the vaccine. They question the potential for other health-related issues that may come about if they get the vaccine. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons that people have for not wanting to get vaccinated.
sure.
And unfortunately, in New Mexico, that they're being called on
Yeah.
to have to make a decision. And I wonder if the governor, in other words, is the governor just like Joe Biden in
Well,
that
of course.
Joe Biden said, we're going to leave Afghanistan. So what if there's thousands of U.S. citizens spread throughout the country that we can't guarantee their safety in getting back to the airport to get flown out? Oh, well. It's
Well,
like you
that's
said
right
to
back to Hillary while they were sitting there in Benghazi.
Yeah.
He has the same.
Yeah, he has
What
the same
difference
mentality.
does it make?
And so our governor apparently has made the decision that they would rather run the risk of losing a significant percentage of their healthcare workers because of on this vaccine
Yeah.
mandate that they've imposed on
Well, you would
things.
think maybe she would have given it a little more thought and thought this through a little better.
Oh, I think she thought it through completely. I think she totally believes that it is, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm thinking her thought process is we can't run the risk of unvaccinated people spreading the COVID around, so we will do, even though we know we're going to lose some people, we're gonna do it this way. I think I think she totally believes in her decision and that she thinks she's doing what's best for the health and safety of the people. But you got hospital facilities and healthcare facilities around the state that are going, we can't find enough people now.
Yeah.
Now you're telling us we have to get them all vaccinated. We're going to lose another,
Right.
What do you expect us to do? Do you have because you just said it. You don't just poof become a nurse overnight or poof become a doctor overnight.
No.
It takes years of training.
Yes.
Yeah. So does she have a drawer full of nurses sitting there in Santa Fe that are all vaccinated, robotic, ready to go to plug in everywhere?
There's been a shortage of nurses for how many years?
Long time, yeah.
To the point where they can almost write their own paycheck because they are in such demand.
Mm-hmm.
You want me? Here's what I want. Pay me.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's traveling nurses that go, there's traveling doctors too, that go to various, because they'll be there for 9 months until, you get enough help or whatever, and then they go on. Those people make buku's bucks.
Yeah.
But, it doesn't happen at the drop. No profession really does. But the medical profession takes years because you don't want somebody working on you that's only been at it, 1 week from start to finish.
They're still reading the book.
Yeah, no. I don't even want to give them giving me a shot if they've only been at it for 1 week from start to, hey, I graduated in a whole week.
Yeah.
No. Years. So to lose those people, I'm sorry. That's another one of those things that just does not make sense.
Yeah. So but that's kind of where we are right now. On one hand, you've got people that say, look, you need to get vaccinated. If you get vaccinated, your likelihood is a lot less that you're going to need hospitalization. It's almost, next to none that you're going to die.
Right.
That doesn't mean you're not, but...
Right, because it's going to happen. You cannot predict these things. And, even the bad part is about all of this is the media is out there. And whatever little bad thing, in a sense of reaction to this happens, it's out there in like 5 seconds. It's all over the media. Oh, somebody got his shot. They had a horrible reaction. This one died. Well, the only thing is we don't know what the reactions were from the smallpox vaccination.
Right.
Of course, people had a reaction to it. They had to. If you vaccinated the whole country for smallpox and nobody had any sort of reaction to it, that would have been a friggin' miracle.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, we didn't know about it because nobody reports it. To whom do you report it to?
Yeah.
It might have hit a newspaper somewhere at some point.
Right, and there was enough of that is out there because you go back before COVID.
Yeah.
There were parents who did not want their kids to get some of these vaccines.
Yeah, mumps, measles, and rubella.
Right, because there were some kids who may have, I don't know if you develop or you are born with autism.
Yeah, right.
That they're saying, well, that may have been somehow related in some form or fashion to some of these vaccines. And so the schools have had to accommodate parents who, for their personal reasons, have said, I don't want my kids to get these vaccines. Fast forward to today with the COVID shot, it's like we're not even allowed to have that discussion. We're not even allowed to have that debate. Schools are not even allowed to take into consideration teachers and parents who don't want their kids to be vaccinated or don't want to get vaccinated. We have totally changed now to where you don't get vaccinated, you don't have a job.
Yeah.
So is that where we want to be? Is that where we want to be right now, given everything that we've learned from everything else?
When I started school, you showed your polio vaccination card.
Right.
And that's another one.
That's right.
They vaccinated the whole entire country.
Polio's
None of us
gone.
asked, well, what's in it? What's it going to do to me? Well, it's going to keep you from being in an iron lung if you get it really bad.
Yeah.
And may die or terribly crippled and in a wheelchair for the rest of your life or braces or crutches.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to prevent.
Right.
I'm sure people had some sort of reaction. Logic says somebody had to had some sort of reaction somewhere. Did we ever know about it? No.
Right.
When my kids went to school, you showed your vaccination. Before you were in school, you had to have your mumps, measles, rubella, whatever else, polio. I don't even remember if they were still giving it that many years ago. There wasn't a question about it. You didn't question. You went and got your kid vaccinated so they could go to school, and that was it.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere some kid had a reaction. We don't know.
Yeah. In the military,
we never
the same
heard of
way.
anybody getting a reaction.
Sure. You mentioned military. Military, same way.
Oh, they lined up. You line up, and they got an air gun popping you quicker than snot. And how many vaccinations went into you at that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't move when they give you an air gun because it'll rip your skin. It will.
Okay. Well, good to know.
Yeah, just hold perfectly still while they shoot it in because if you move, it'll tear the skin.
Yeah.
You know, and they used to do that for babies, have air guns, and then they quit that because holding a baby still, yeah, that works real well.
Yeah.
It's easier with a needle. But, yeah, they don't question it at all. This is what you want to do. You're not going to go to some foreign country and come back with God knows what, but you've been vaccinated, and that will prevent you from getting all these weird diseases, we hope. You know?
Yeah.
But you don't question it.
Yeah.
Did some sailor just collapse because he had an allergic reaction to something in there? I'm sure. Somewhere, logic says they had to. But you didn't question it. And it wasn't on the news in 5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
So-
that's kind of where we're at now, as
Yeah.
you know, and so you've got in southeast New Mexico, clearly,
Yes.
you have a higher percentage of people that are questioning the whole process.
Cases every day from here, this county, are not good, and
Yeah.
the hospitals are full.
Yeah,
You know, they're
Yeah.
on ventilators. Do I want to be on a ventilator? No.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's kind of the debate of our time
I know.
that we're going through right now.
But if anybody thinks that there's stuff in it that you're going to be tracked, all they have to do is look at a cell phone. You're already tracked. If somebody in the government wants to know where you're at, you're carrying around a tracker with you at all times.
Well, that doesn't make it right.
Doesn't make it right, but it's but it's there. I mean, if you're paranoid about getting an injection to think you're going to be tracked,
Yeah.
we're already
Yeah.
have that capability of being
Well,
tracked.
I would venture to guess that, you know, if we're at 49.9% that have not gotten even their first shot in Eddy County, I'm going to guess that of that 49%, a very small percentage are the people that think they're going to get tracked. I'm thinking it's a much larger percentage that have other issues with the whole process. They have issues with being mandated. They have issues with it still being not approved, but under
Right.
emergency use. I mean, there's a number of other things. I mean, how many people do we know that have been vaccinated and wearing masks and are getting COVID?
Yeah.
I mean, they
A few
tell-
breakthrough cases.
They tell us that the breakthrough cases are very, very rare, but there's a bunch of them out there. And so there's questions that we have over the truthfulness and the honesty with which they're telling us about all of this stuff. I wish they would just come out and not call it a vaccine. I wish they would call it like a flu shot. I wish they call it a COVID shot. It's a COVID shot. Most likely you won't get it. If you do get it, the symptoms will be less severe, and the likelihood of you needing hospitalization or even dying is greatly reduced, and you may need to get one every year. I wish they would tell us that
Yeah.
instead of saying it's a vaccine, because when you hear vaccine, you think of polio. You think of smallpox.
Smallpox.
You think of these other vaccines that if you get the vaccine and then you don't get the disease, but that's not the case with
Yeah.
this. And we're reading stories about how, you know, are the vaccines failing? Are they actually doing any good? You know, it's I just wish people would shoot straight and be
Well,
honest with
even
us.
when
And
they
I'm not
give-
a fan of mandates. I'm going
Yeah,
to tell you that
even
right
when they
now.
give flu shots, people still get the flu.
That's right.
Because when they develop that flu shot, they don't really know,
It's a very good educated guess.
yes, what strain of flu might happen
Is-
9 months from now after they've developed this flu.
Is COVID any different?
See?
In a way?
Yeah,
I mean, I know
see,
it's
yeah.
different in that it's not flu, and the flu shot doesn't protect you from COVID, and the COVID shot doesn't protect you from the
Right.
flu. But we had the original strain of COVID, and that's what the vaccines were developed to provide protection for. Now we have the Delta variant,
Yes.
more contagious. People are getting sick, maybe a little more spreadable than the other COVID, and some people who have been vaccinated are still getting.
But if
getting
that
COVID.
vaccination I've been vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
So what? If I happen to get a breakthrough or the Delta or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
if it keeps me from dying
Yeah.
and sicker than a dog and I just have to stay home and cough and sneeze and blow my nose, hey, I do that every allergy season. Some allergy seasons put me under the rug almost because they're so horrible.
Yeah.
That would be an easy fix. I wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
and again, I just wish that was the case that they were making,
Yes.
and tell it that way and say,
Right.
look, here's what we know. Here's the likelihood, blah blah blah, and it's a COVID shot as opposed to a COVID vaccine. But they didn't do that.
Right.
And they haven't done that, and so you've got in pockets and places around the country, you've got people saying, look, I'm just not going to get.
Well,
I'm going to get the shot, and now their jobs are being put in jeopardy. Access to things like the state fair is being put in
you
jeopardy.
will or show a test.
And
Yeah.
and it's not just the state fair. I mean, there's conventions, there's sports arenas, there's concert series. I mean, some artists are canceling concerts because the venue operator is not going along with you have to be vaccinated to come into the concert, and so the singer is going, fine, we're not going to sing.
Right.
You can't have a concert if you're not going to do this the way that we want. Hey, before we run out of time completely on this, this is the debate of our time.
Well, it
that
is.
we're having
It very
right now.
is. And, my ex-in-laws, both deceased now, got flu shots every year on like clockwork.
Yeah.
They took literally handfuls of vitamins every day.
Mm-hmm.
They got the flu
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
And I mouthed off, which was like, and I said, oh, you just don't eat enough green chili, and they gave me the
Stink eye.
side eye, the stink eye, But thinking you're protected by all the vitamins and the flu shot
Yeah.
and still get the flu, and they were the healthiest eaters there ever was.
Yeah. Hey, there's
You know,
this COVID virus is so wacky. I mean, there's extremely healthy people
Oh, yeah.
that wind up in the hospital on ventilators.
No underlying conditions.
There's people with underlying conditions that fight their way through it and survive. It's so weird how this thing
what was
affects
that?
people
that
so
older
differently.
lady, 103, she survived the Spanish flu, got COVID, survived that.
Yeah.
That lady had a constitution that was tougher than nails.
We need to
be
figure out
that
what her
age.
genetics are.
Yes, because that was like a miracle.
Yeah.
So you can't say that, well, if you're old, you're doomed.
Okay, I got
So-
like 2 minutes.
Yard of the week.
Okay.
If you have or see a wonderful yard, great curb appeal, just pure paradise, and you think it needs to be nominated, give a call to the office, 748-3192, or you can call me at 513-0143 and give a nomination. We didn't have one this week. The sign is under repair. The sprinkler
no.
systems and the rain have kind of made it peel a little
Oh,
bit.
no.
And
Okay.
I've tried to find some people at home, and I guess I'm going to have to go in the evening or on the weekend.
Okay.
Because I don't want to just poke a sign in their yard and they wonder, what in the heck is going on here? I want their permission.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to poke a sprinkler pipe or something like that either.
Well, our rods are not that long.
You never know.
That's true, yes.
You never know.
But we do want,
So if you have a yard you want to nominate, get a hold of Linda, and who knows, here in the next
Yes.
few weeks, they will be the yard of the week.
Yeah.
Because you didn't send me any pictures, otherwise I would have had them ready
I've
to
got
go.
4 of them on the list right now. I'm
Okay.
trying to find I either hit at the very wrong time or they're working or whatever. I encountered a dog the other day. I went in the yard. I could hear him in the house when I got to the door. And then this one was barking really close. And I thought, okay, let's just remain friends while I'm here. And I was thinking, I've got Levi's on. Maybe it won't break the skin.
Yeah.
But it didn't care. It, left me alone, and I managed to
Well, that's
get out
good.
the gate and relock the gate, and we're good. But
We're good. All right.
yeah, I prefer not to do, because I don't have phone numbers for these people.
So what's that number again to call?
748-3192 or 513-0143.
All right, Linda. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoyed the discussion. It is the debate of our time,
It
folks. And let's. We're
But
gonna
do
have-
your research.
That's right. Absolutely.
Research this to the bone. Don't just listen to somebody say, well, blah, 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 your neighbor or whatever.
Yep.
Research it.
Yep.
Get the details.
Excellent advice.
Make an educated opinion about this.
Yep.
It's your health. It's your family's health. You don't want to see somebody die.
That's right.
Because you didn't get vaccinated.
Got to go. But Linda, thank you so much. All right. We'll see you next week. This is, let's take a